I am currently preparing for my third home birth. This is baby number 4. My first was born in a hospital, but I wanted to share what I am doing to set up my space for home birth, to include the actual stuff that I plan to labor on, the supplies that I've gathered to support me medically during my birth, what my midwife is going to be bringing, in addition to the comfort measures that I am going to have set up to help support me during my labor. Hey, my name is Gina. I'm a perinatal fitness trainer and birth doula, and I am currently pregnant with baby number 4 and preparing for my third home birth. And so I've had 2 births at home now. One of them was in this house, in this very room. And so I want to share how I have set up my space to support me during my labor, in addition to the supplies that I've gathered to help support me during my birth as well. So the first thing that we've done is we've set up our space that I plan to labor in, and this is primarily going to be my bedroom. And so the first thing that we did was we made sure that the pool that we used for our last birth was still good to go. We blew it up, made sure there's no holes in it, we cleaned it, and so we're going to deflate it and store it until it's time for the day of. But really glad that there are no holes in it, because if there were, we would just have to patch them and fix it. But everything's looking good. Kids are really excited to be able to play in the pool. But yeah. The other thing that we have set up is we made sure that the hose that we want to use to fill it reaches the faucet that we were planning to utilize. And so our laundry room is just down the stairs from this bedroom. And so we have the attachment for it, we have the hose, and we know it's going to reach, which is really important. And so whatever you plan on using to fill up your tub, just making sure that you have attachments and a long enough hose is going to be really important, in addition to a sump pump to get the water out, which will be super helpful. I'll also have a bed sheet that I'll place on top of this whenever I'm not using the pool during labor to help keep it warm. And then we'll have a bunch of really large pots just kind of boiling on the stove to kind of refill it to keep it a good temperature throughout my birth. The next place that I'll probably be laboring and potentially giving birth on will be the bed. This is where I gave birth with my last 2 kids. I actually did not end up having a water birth with either of them, much to my sadness. But I'll probably end up in the bed again, or maybe I'll have a water birth, we'll see. But with your bed, you're gonna do different layers, and this is gonna make it easier for you postpartum. And so the bottom layer will be just clean sheets, and this is what I would end up sleeping on after I give birth to baby. On top of that, I have a waterproof cover. This is gonna help prevent those clean sheets getting dirty, and then I have some sheets on top. And so because I tend to give birth at 41 weeks, we've got like 3 weeks to go probably, this will probably get changed a few times between now and then, but it's much easier to change this during pregnancy as opposed to redoing the whole bed postpartum when I'm dealing with all of that. I also have this waterproof blanket. This is called a splash blanket that I will have on top of the bed as well. And so it's just like another absorbent blanket to utilize. And so if I am laboring on the bed, I'll have this here, and this can kind of help collect fluids, such as if my water breaks, if there's any blood, baby's born here. To keep the bed from getting like too dirty, just so that it's much easier to clean up postpartum. I also have these waterproof pillowcases that I'll put on the pillows whenever I'm in early labor. And so that'll keep the actual pillow from getting like dirty or getting any fluid and stuff on them. Birth is obviously not a super clean or dry event. There's a lot of fluids, but it is manageable at home, because that's usually a lot of folks' concern is like, how do I keep my house clean? Doing things like this can be really beneficial to keep your mattress and your pillows nice and clean. In addition to, my midwife and her birth assistant will clean everything up when I'm done. So really I just give birth and I just lay in bed, maybe take a shower, as everyone else is kind of dealing with everything, and my house looks the same after I give birth. Other things that I have set up are kind of like the medical supplies. And so my midwife has like a kit that I can just order, and there's a bunch of different kits available depending on your midwife's preferences. It'll have like the sizes of like gloves and stuff that she needs, but it makes it super easy to order what she needs me to have on hand. And so a lot of the stuff that I am ordering is going to be more like the disposable medical supplies. And so lots of pads, like these are Chuck's pads. They're kind of similar to like puppy pee pads, but they're much more absorbent. And so these ones are like super absorbent. These ones are like medium absorbent. And so she'll kind of be putting these on the bed as I'm laboring to also help kind of collect different liquids and fluids and stuff. There's also different types of gauze pads and like wipes and stuff that'll be available. And then plenty of gloves in case she needs it. In here we have like the lube and surgical like lube that she would need, stuff for baby, such as like the measuring tape, the heel prick, different like alcohol prep pads, and also the umbilical cord clamp. And so that'll just be all in this little baggie for her. The day of, we'll kind of set this up on like a table for her, so everything's really easy to find. And then her and her birth assistant will kind of sort through it to figure out what they need specifically ready to go. And we'll even have like a cookie tray sheet that she can kind of put stuff on that she can carry around as she needs. She's gonna bring a bunch of the stuff that she needs to provide support for me as well, like in her own bag. So any sort of like medicine that I may need during labor, especially stuff to help prevent postpartum hemorrhage or deal with any sort of postpartum hemorrhage, and like resuscitation equipment for like both me and for baby. And so she'll have like an oxygen tank and different tools that she can utilize to help with that. One of the biggest concerns with home birth, or like what could potentially go wrong with home birth, is typically in the postpartum. And this is gonna be postpartum hemorrhage and baby not transitioning well. And so with both of those being kind of the biggest concerns, she has stuff to help support that if that happens, to at least stabilize us enough to transfer to the nearest hospital. And so she has stuff to help prevent or manage postpartum hemorrhage. And she also has stuff to help resuscitate baby and to stabilize baby until we can transfer as well. So those are kind of be like the two biggest concerns. If I have like labor dystocia where something is not normal with my labor, that would also be a reason to transfer, but usually not an emergency reason. And so if that would happen, it would just mean that my labor is not super normal. There could be more complications. So we should transfer to a place that has a higher level of care. And so we also have our transfer plan established as well. So if it's like an emergency, we're gonna go to the closest hospital, which is about 15 minutes away. If it's a non-emergency, but things are like not looking good, we'll go to where I have my secondary care established, which is about an hour away. As we're kind of waiting for labor to begin, all of this medical supplies is just being stored in like a Tupperware bin in the bedroom. And so it's easy for us to find. It's ready to go for whenever she gets here to support my birth. In addition to the medical supplies that I have set up and setting up my space, I also have like labor comfort stuff set up for me as well to provide some support during my birth to make things just a little bit easier. And so the first thing that I have set up is the clothes that I plan to wear. I do not like to labor naked. Other people may prefer that. For me, my personal preference is to have clothes on. And so I have these mesh panties that I plan on wearing. This one is from Bodily, this one's from Freedom Mom, but these go over the belly really nice. And so it's like very comfortable, like they're super stretchy. And I'll probably wear these until like I start pushing and then I'll take them off. But I just like to have some coverage. Like I'm not like necessarily like super modest. It's just more comfortable for me to have clothes on. I'll also have these little bralettes readily available. They'll just be sitting right here on my dresser. I'll wear these throughout my labor, even after baby is born. I'll wear them in the shower and the tub just because I like support for the girls. I like to be covered. It's just my personal preference. You don't have to wear any of that. You can just be totally naked and that's totally fine. I also have some lightweight robes available. So this one is from Cozy Earth. It's like a bamboo lined one. So very thin, very soft. I also have a thicker fluffy robe in case I get kind of cold. Temperature can kind of be all over the place during labor. So I'll have these just kind of on standby if I need them. In addition to like the clothes I plan on wearing, I'll also have some tools to help provide labor support or in different positions. And so the first thing that I have is this birth sling. If you are familiar with like a TRX, it has this door anchor that goes over the top of your door frame. And then it has all these different like loops, kind of like a yoga sling that I can like route my body through for support. So it's really helpful for like upright laboring positions. And so I would put this over the top of my door and then I could like put my arms through it and I can do like a deep squat and it supports me in the deep squat. I can do like lunges or swaying. It's a pretty helpful tool. So I'll be using that to help with supporting me in labor positions. In addition to the birth sling, I also have a rebozo, which is like a thick scarf that's handmade in Mexico. So this one I got from Atima Textiles, which I'll link down below. But they're really beautiful scarves, and so you can use them postpartum as well, but another labor support thing. And so my husband and my sister can use it to support me in laboring positions. I can wrap it around them and hang on to it. I can also they can hold and play tug of war with me while I'm pushing. And they can also place the fabric around my belly or my butt to kind of do some gentle jiggling for relaxation during labor position. So there's Lots of different ways to use the rebozo, but essentially the rebozo and the birth sling are gonna help support me during laboring positions. I'll also have like a birth ball in here and like a big yoga mat down on the floor. Like I found this one, it's like Gorilla mat that's like 6x6 that I'll have down on the floor just to make it a little bit softer for me to labor on. And then the birth ball to help support me in different labor positions. I will have a cover on my birth ball as well, just because the feeling of the plastic against my skin is not great and it makes like a lot of noise when there's not a cover. So I'll have a cover over the birth ball. Now for some labor comfort tools that I'll have is first I have some heating pads. And so these are probably the first things that I'll use whenever I'm in labor. Then I'll put this around my lower abdomen. This one's nice because it's wireless and it has a Velcro strap as well. So hands-free, which is super helpful. But with the heat on my lower abdomen, it really helps me move through those early labor contractions where there's just like a lot happening down here. And so it just kind of decreases the pain. When it comes to using heat during your labor, you just want to make sure you're not sweating. If you're sweating, it's probably a little bit too hot. Same if you're like in a shower or a tub. If you're sweating, the tub is too hot for you. So I'll just have this on probably for the duration of my early labor. And what's really nice is I can also use it postpartum as well to help with that postpartum cramps and contractions, which tend to get worse with every baby. And this is baby number 4 for me, so definitely have this on standby. I also have one that is a plug-in one that I can also utilize if this one's battery dies. And I would use like the rebozo to help kind of secure it to my body, because holding on to it during contractions is just very annoying. I'll also have a few different labor comfort tools available inside my little basket if I can find them. So the first is gonna be a birth comb. I haven't used one in previous births yet, but I've had a lot of clients use them and really like it. So I grabbed this one from Seasons of Mama. This one's a little bit thinner than the average birth comb, but all the bristles are very rounded. And so you would just kind of squeeze it during contractions as a distraction tool. If you press it into like the gap between your fingers and your palm as an acupressure point, that can help relieve some pain as well. Or you can press it in between like your thumb and your index finger. And so you just kind of squeeze it during labor for relief. I also have this little massage ball, so different massage tools, because your hands get tired from providing labor support. And so my husband and my sister can just use it to like massage my glutes or my legs or even like my back and stuff. But it's much easier for them to utilize instead of their hands if their hands get tired. I'm all about thinking about my support people too. This is a TENS, which is like electric massage, and you would apply it to like your hips or like your back area. And then in between contractions is like a low buzz, and then you would increase it during contractions to like a tolerable level, but not painful. And it's like a distraction tool. So you have like the buzzing going on, that's distracting to help you focus a little bit more on the contractions. In addition to it's stimulating fascial layers, which can help to release endorphins for pain relief. So with this, I like to use it towards the end of my labor. It tends to provide me the most relief then, especially like on my hips. But you can use it during early labor. The longer you use it, typically the better it is. However, don't use it in water. So if you're gonna get in the pool or the shower, don't use your TENS unit. But this is something that I have found to be really helpful for me and for a lot of my doula clients. In addition to those labor comfort measures, I'll also have the birth pool that I can get in to provide some labor's comfort. And I have my shower also. With my shower, I'll keep the lights off in the bathroom, and I'm just gonna put some like twinkly lights in it to kind of provide some light, just because I'm trying to keep like this dark, dim, and like quiet kind of vibe going on to help with my labor. But I'll also have like a Bluetooth speaker that's playing some like music that I really like during my labor to kind of set a good vibe in here. In addition to the labor comfort tools, I also have like a bunch of stuff kind of set up around my space with like different plants. Like I have like flowers and stuff set up just to like give me a good vibe. I also got crystals because I'm a little woo-woo like that, and some mantra cards that I have like kind of displayed around my room so that as I'm laboring, I can kind of read them to remind myself of like different mantras that have really resonated with me throughout my pregnancy. So yeah, that's pretty much what we have set up for a home birth. We're ready to go whenever this baby girl decides it's time to come. We have the space set up with the bed. The pool is ready to go. We're gonna bring a yoga mat in here with that birth ball, so I have all my places to labor. I can also wander around the rest of the house, but I'll primarily be in here. I have all of the medical supplies that we need. My midwife will bring all the other stuff because I think it's really important to have a medical professional at your birth to help support you. And then I have all of my labor comfort stuff and the clothes I plan on ready to go. So really just waiting on this baby at this point. And so thanks so much for tuning in to how I'm preparing for my birth. I'm excited to share how it goes and to share my birth story with you all as well. And yeah. If you want more support throughout your pregnancy, check out our online prenatal fitness programs, our childbirth education course. If you want more support postpartum, we got our postpartum education course and fitness programs. They're all programs that I have personally done that we utilize with our clients in our gym. And so we have vetted them. We know that they're good. We enjoy doing them. And so if you want to check them out on our website at MamasteFit.com and use code YouTube10 to get 10% off any of our online offerings. And stay tuned for the birth story of baby number 4.